Stefy here, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is actually going to be a tutorial. I haven't filmed one in so long, I know. So today I'm hitting you up with a new tutorial. Today it's all about the lips and more of a natural eye. I'm actually using the famous Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Palette. I've been dying to film a tutorial with this, so that's what I'm going to be featuring today. So I really hope you enjoy the tutorial and keep on watching if you want to watch the tutorial. And also, if you're new, hi, I'm Stefy Puglisevich. Welcome to my channel. I post every week on Tuesday and Thursdays at 8 o'clock in the morning, where I live in Malta, so it can be any time in the world. So I would say I think it's 8 AM GMT plus 1. So if you live in London, that would be 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you can obviously come up with your own time frame whenever you want to watch it. So subscribe if you haven't and keep on watching if you want to see how to create this look. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to be starting off with is primer. Now the primer I'm using is the Max Factor Smooth Miracle primer. This is one of the newest ones because they did have one before that, and I'm just going to take a little bit on my fingers and just work this in. I tend to focus mainly T-zone because that's where I have the most oils. Next is foundation. Now the foundation I'm using is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This is in the NC30. Yes, it's darker. Yes, it's more yellow toned. That's what I like. That's what I use. And I know I've got pinky undertones, but my neck is yellow undertone, so that's why you can see the big difference. And I tend to fake tan a lot or use a tanning solution on the rest of my body, so that's why I always go darker. I'm using the Inglot Pro Beauty, is it the Pro Beauty Sponge or the Pro Beauty Blender, one of those. So I just kind of just put a couple of pumps on my little sponge and kind of just work it in. I love how this just literally mattifies, so I'm just going to just work that into the skin. Next is a concealer. Now the concealer that I love using is the Collection Lasting Perfection Ultimate Wear Concealer. This is in Fair number 1. I love this to bits, and I would probably be lost without this. So I just kind of just do the center of the face with it, and when I'm going out like today, I do just kind of go that extra mile to make sure it's quite better than normal. Then the beauty sponge again, and just literally tap it in rather than swipe it. Next part that I like doing, whilst this is kind of setting and kind of just mattifying by itself, I like to go in with my brows before I go in with powder, and I'm using the Inglot AMC Brow Liner Gel in number 12. This is probably my favorite brow product at the moment, and I'm just using the Inglot 31T, which is a synthetic brush if I'm not mistaken, but it's just the perfect angle brush for it. Next is setting powder, and I'm using the Prep and Prime by MAC, the transparent. Now for some reason this is so messy, like I don't know why this does not have like a sifter or anything like this, because everything just goes kapoof if you put this in your bag, literally. I think once I did take it with me, and I was like, I opened it and it was so messy. I couldn't even put it back in. I just had to use it up, and it was like so wasteful and stuff, and I just hate it because then it can just get, you can't even use it on clients when it's like that. If there's too much, you can't use it on clients, which I kind of hate. But side note, I do sanitize everything, especially if I'm going to be using something on a client that is in my bag. So this is actually from my freelance bag, but I really wanted to use it on myself because I haven't used it in a while. So this is me tapping on well, trying to tap it on because it's taken a while to come out. So got a brush. Now this one is actually the Inglot 1SS. I haven't used this in ages and I thought I would today. So tap off any excess and just kind of work this into the skin. I'm more of a loose powder girl. I do have the MAC MSF Natural, but to be honest, I'm more of a loose powder. Now I tend to use the banana powder by Ben Nye, which is like probably one of my favorites. But you know, that's kind of finishing after 2 years, so I kind of just need another one. So I'm just setting everything down. I'm not one to bake. Last time I baked, it kind of just had the worst flash photography, and I actually used this, and apparently they said, you know, with this you don't get any flashback. Hell yeah, I did. I had white all over here, my nose, and my chin. It just looked horrible, and it was at night time, and this does flashback, so do not bake with this. Side note. Okay, next we're going to be contouring. You know how much I love my contouring, and I always use the same 2 products, guys. You know I love this. It's from Inglot. There are the HD Sculpting powders. I have these 4 here. So this one is 505, 507, 512, and this is 503 if I'm not mistaken. So this one over here is the one I tend to use more for my eyes. It's a gorgeous beige color, and I did have one in the eyeshadow range from Inglot, but it finished, so that was like the nearest one I could use. So I tend to use that mainly for my eyes rather than a contouring shade. And I always like to use my Nancy brush. This one is the contouring brush. You guys see me use it in pretty much all my tutorials that I do have on here. And I just start off with the 505 and just kind of work this in as more of a shading contouring. I always contour. I've been contouring for years now, and I would find that really weird if I don't contour. For blush, I'm using this one, and this one is the Modern Mandarin Powder Blush. This was from a really nice MAC collection. I can't remember what it was called, to be honest. It was something like Modern Muse or something like that, and it's a really nice peachy color, which I don't really wear, to be honest with you, but since I'm wearing a red lip, I think this will be perfect. So I'm just taking the Nancy blush brush and just going to just do a little swift swipe of this, because I don't want something too in your face. I want it more natural. There we go. I think it looks cute. So that's that one. Next is highlight. Now I've got 2 Gerard Cosmetics highlights. The reason being because I just used that gorgeous blush. I do have the star powder in Bridgette, which looks gorgeous and I think will look so nice on top of it. And then I'm going to go in with my famous Grace, which will be my highlighter, which is that one there. It's just so gorgeous. So let's start. I'm going to be using another Inglot brush, 4SS. So let's start with Bridgette, which I've hardly used, to be honest. I don't know why. Just going to add just a small dab on top of that one there. And then I'm going to go in with Grace, which will be my normal highlight as normal. So Grace, just on top there. Look at that highlight. I have to say these are like the best highlighters I've tried till now. I haven't tried the Jeffree Star ones, which everyone kind of just constantly talks about, but I do love my Gerard Cosmetics ones. They're gorgeous. Look at that shine. Eyes now, guys. So for the eyes, I'm going to start off with Painterly, the paint pot. I just literally use this on my finger. I actually prefer the other paint pot, which I think is called, this is Painterly. The other one's called Orchid or Ochre. It's like more of a yellow toned, but since I have this one, I actually just use it as a base. so nice, and I love how like all the eyeshadows just literally cling on to this. The highlight of the whole tutorial is this. So this is the Gwen Stefani Urban Decay palette. I've had this since it came out, and I don't know why, I don't think I've ever actually filmed a tutorial using it, but I have used it quite a bit. So these are the gorgeous colours in the palette, and I want to go more of a natural kind of colour, kind of look, because I am wearing a red lip and I'm basically known for my red lip. So I'm going to be using a couple of colours. I'm going to start off with Skimp, which is the third one in. I'm just going to use that as a kind of a base colour all over my eyelids. I'm going to pack some of that on another Inglot shader brush. I don't know why there's so many Inglot brush. To be honest, I'm not sponsored by Inglot before anyone asks, but I do have a lot of Inglot brushes that I use. Not a lot of MAC ones, if I'm honest, because I don't know why, but I do have a lot of these, to be honest with you. I have at least 15 Inglot brushes, I think. I did work with Inglot at least 5 years ago, but there was an offer, I think it was last year or the one before, where they had €100 for 10 brushes, and it could be any brush that you wanted. And I do remember going out and getting some, so that's probably why I have a lot of Inglot brushes. So I'm just kind of just using this as a base all over the lid up to the brow bone. I'm going with the transition shade, and I'm actually going to start with Danger, which is this shade over here, and then I'm going to go in with Harajuku after that. So I'm just going to soften those two together. So I'm going to start with Danger and just work that into the crease. So I'm really going for a really nice soft eye look. I'm actually going to use the 1987, which is this shade right there. I'm trying to make sure you can try and get the actual colour. So that's the 1987. I'm going to use more of a pencil brush. Oh my god, guys. It's another Inglot brush. Oh my god. 80 HP. I'm going to use, oh no. Somehow I managed to just dent this just now. I think I used one of my, must have been either a brush or something. I just dented it just now, guys. So 1987 in the crease, in the outer V, what am I saying, in the crease. So just on the outer corner, and then we'll smoke that in. Such a gorgeous brown as well. Then blending brush again. This is the MAC 224, which is my favourite blending brush. I don't think I even mentioned it was, this was the brush I was using to blend, but yes, this is the brush I'm using. And I'm just going to blend those colours together. Now, what I do like to do is I like to get the pencil brush again and kind of just go underneath. Since obviously I've already done all my foundation and stuff like that, I obviously don't need to wait to do the under eye, so let's do the funny look while we do the under eye with the eyeshadow and just join it up to the blending on top. Now I'm going to be using a highlight under my brow bone, and I really want to use this one, which is called Blonde. So I've got Blonde, and this is bath water, so I'm going to see which one I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use Blonde, to be honest. Let's use Blonde. So just grabbing the little shader brush, I'm just going to just lightly tap it under my eyebrow. Not a lot, to be honest, because I'm not a big fan of a lot of product, and maybe just a little bit in the inner corner. There we go. So we kept it natural on the eyes, guys, because I'm just more of a natural person. For eyeliner, I'm actually going to be using the black eyeshadow, which is called Blackout. I'm just going to be using this on a pencil brush. These are the Lauren Luke brushes. I don't know if you guys remember seeing them all over YouTube at least over 5 years ago, but I'm just going to use that just next to my lash line, and I want to soften it out because I don't really wear eyeliner anymore since I've had my lashes, and I don't know why, but I just feel like you don't really need anything, to be honest, because they just give you that really nice lift. So I'm just going to do a really like soft eyeliner just on the outer 2/3, to be honest. Next is a lips, which is the final part of this tutorial, and I'm using the lip liner in Cherry by MAC. It's probably one of my favourite ones, to be honest. But it's so that's the lip liner, and you can tell that you can literally use this by itself. And we're going in with the Jeffree Star Anna Nicole. I did have the red one, which I always talk about and I really miss it, but for this look I want to go more of an orangey red, so what I tend to do is just kind of mix this together and it looks gorgeous. Okay guys, so that is the final look. All that's left is setting spray, and I'm using the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day in Peach, and let's do a little spritzer. Oopsie, spraying the other way. I love it. I love the smell. I love it. So that is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next one, as I already said. Bye guys.